when we had my youngest, he came out of the womb attached to me, I swear, like in a, which ended up, I'm literally not exaggerating, when we couldn't go on a date, my husband and I, we couldn't go anywhere without him, because if I wasn't there, he was screaming. We even hired nurses as our babysitters because, listen, he's going to cry. You just have to push on through, and nobody could take it because it's a crazy cry. Here, the doctor ended up naming it. It was an attachment disorder, whereas he literally thought I was a part of his body and that he couldn't function like an arm or a leg without me. So when I would get him into a room, it would stop immediately. The crying would stop immediately, which was very flattering, but also exhausting. And so we just called him a mama's boy, right? Like, oh, you cutie, love your mom, oh, you know him, he loves his mom. And then little by little, we started to see things in him very early on. And I think that's because of the older kids, but we caught his issues really early, which really helped out when it came to getting therapy and getting him the services that he needed. But his symptoms were, he was wild, he was out of control, he had the impulse, he had the anger. He wasn't looking anyone in the eye. He wasn't very verbal to anybody. To me and to our family he was, but nobody else. And little by little, I said, oh, it's ADHD. Oh, don't worry. When he's older, we'll medicate him. This is what I'm thinking in my head. He's just like the others. This is fine. And he had a developmental delay, which OT was great with.
Occupational therapy.
Yes, occupational therapy. We put him in speech therapy because he was not having any conversational, practical speech. And then there was an incident with snow pants that changed everything for us. He doesn't wear certain things. And I put him in snow pants once because we were going out in the snow for Thanksgiving. And he started screaming as if he were on fire, like legit fire. And I took them right off of him. And when I did, it stopped. So I told my husband, there's something up. We need to find out help. And that is kind of how it trickled down okay, we're going to go to occupational therapy. He might have a sensory processing issue. And sensory processing issue tends to go hand in hand with, let's say, anxiety, which tends to go hand in hand with ADHD, which tends to go hand with autism. So it kind of very easily, he racked up a diagnosis sheet. But the occupational therapist said that putting those pants on was making him feel like they were like, imagine creepy crawlies all over you or spiders on your legs.
Oh God, don't say that.
Right? And I was like, excuse me? Like, no way. Nobody wants that. Like, she said, imagine if you had that. And I was like, imagine, I would flip out, forget it. So from then on, we became experts in allowing our children to know their own bodies, right? And what they're going to wear, to the point where, we would have people saying, what kind of mother is letting her kid run out in the snow with Crocs and shorts on? Well, it's this mother, but I don't want to be. But I also know he doesn't feel cold the same way that we do. And he's only going to be out there for a minute before he comes in. And trust me, you don't want him in pants. We can't put him in pants. He went to a Catholic school where you had to wear a uniform. That didn't go very well. We had to stop that pretty quickly. So with time, we learned so many interesting things. I have to say, it's a world I never even knew about. And now it's so fascinating. I will say, I think it's fascinating. Now that everybody's okay, it's fascinating.
Catch new episodes of the Mindful Mama podcast and other free resources, including the Mindful Mom Guide at mindfulmamamentor.com. You can listen to every back catalog episode, including interviews with Dr. Dan Siegel, Janla Van Zandt, Sharon Salzberg, and get meditations, join our private Facebook group, and more. Go to mindfulmamamentor.com now. I'll see you there.